Hello, everyone. Tyler Ford here, in Tucson with eXp Realty, and welcome to Living in Tucson, your Tucson real estate connection, and this month's Tucson home inventory update. Where each and every month I do a live and we log into the MLS and take a look at what's going on with inventory levels here in Tucson. And in my opinion, inventory levels are the leading indicator, and I predicted that the top end of this market is going to be May, June of this year. Inventory levels are slowly starting to tick up. And again, economics 101, supply and demand. And over the last couple of years, we've had far more demand than supply, and we've seen double-digit appreciation rates. But again, in my opinion, I do feel this market is starting to slow. So we're going to dig into the numbers and show you what's going on. But before I do, I want to cover a little bit of news just to kind of get you up to speed to what's going on here. But the consumer price index came out last week, and we're at a 41 41-year record high in terms of inflation. And let me share my screen here. And interest rates since the lows of last August have gone up almost about 3%. So lows of last August, we were about 2.75, and we had the biggest one-day meltdown of the bond market and mortgage interest rates as far as an increase last week, where interest rates ticked up about 75 basis points, or interest rates moved up about 7.75%. So right now we're sitting at about 5.78 on a 30-year fixed. And just give you a little bit of perspective, if you look at this overall chart, rates are still relatively low, but the challenge is because home values have more than doubled over the last couple of years, you start to increase rates on top of home values, and it's now starting to price people out of the market. So for example, if we go over to a mortgage calculator right here, right now the median home sales price in Tucson is 385. And if you take 2.75%, which was the low of last year in August, your monthly mortgage payment is going to be $1,257. But as of today, if we put in 5.78% and we calculate that, your payment is now going to be $1,803, which is an increase of $546 per month on your mortgage payment as a result of interest rates going up by 3%. So to me, it's another big reason as to why this market is going to start to slow down, is that people are just priced out of this market. They can no longer afford these prices at this level. And it's a combination of appreciation and interest rates going up. So that just gives you kind of a perspective. But again, if we go back over to interest rates, if you look back in the early 1980s, I mean, rates were as high as 17%. And when I got into this business in the mid 90s, rates were 7, 8, 9%. But again, home values were half of what they are today. So again, it's having a dramatic impact on people and their ability to afford homes. So now what I'd like to do is we're going to jump on over to the MLS. And again, if you've got any questions, make sure you comment, and I'll do my best at the end to answer any questions you may have. But let's dive into the numbers. What I'm going to do, logged into the MLS, we're going to take a look at home inventory levels for Tucson, and then I'm going to jump over to an Excel spreadsheet so you can get a visual of what's going on. So if we look at Tucson single family homes right now listed in the MLS right here, there's 800, and I'm gonna write it down. So 887 single family homes listed in the MLS. If we take a look at townhomes, there are 73 townhomes currently listed in the MLS. And if we go to manufactured homes, there are currently 49 manufactured homes listed in the Tucson MLS. And if we jump over to condos, we're right now at 80 condos listed in the MLS. So now I'm going to pull up an Excel spreadsheet and we'll put in the numbers. So last August, I just started to feel that this market was slowly starting to turn and started to track inventory levels to get a good idea and actually keep a pulse on it on a daily basis just to see what's going on. So I'm going to open up an Excel spreadsheet and let me make this bigger. So if we punch in the numbers here, so single family homes, there were 887. Manufactured homes, there were 49. Condos, there were 80. And townhomes, there were 73. So the total change since when I started to do this was, let me just make sure I got this. So the weekly change. So last week, total inventory, I'm sorry, last month, total inventory numbers were 777. So we've seen from last month to this month, we have seen a 23.52% increase from month to month in terms of inventory levels. And the total change since I started doing this back in August, we're at about a 21% increase. And if you look at the chart here, it gives you kind of a good visual of what's going on. And you know, my question was when the weather cooled off and snowbirds, started coming back, what would that do? It pushed down inventory. And in Tucson, typically, this is the trend. It's usually a little bit more stable, but, typically in Tucson, fall, winter, and spring, inventory levels are drawn down. And then when the winter visitors go away and the temperatures start to heat up in Tucson, inventory levels start to tick back up. So this is a good little visual of what's going on in terms of inventory levels. We are starting to tick up. And then the other thing that I want to show you is the MLS just shows Tucson, but if we look at Zillow, we can get also a kind of a better picture of the overall because it picks up Tucson and the surrounding areas. Get out of here. Come on. Internet is slow. So if I type in Tucson and hit search, and we'll jump back over to the Excel spreadsheet. In Tucson and the surrounding areas in the MLS, there's 1,428. That's that number right here. And then the other, this is for sale by owner. So right now, for sale by owner on Zillow, there's 302 listings. If we jump back over to the Excel spreadsheet, we'll put that in. So MLS, Tucson and the surrounding areas, there's 1,428. And other for sale by owner, 302. So month to month, total listings on Zillow, Tucson surrounding areas, and for sale by owner, inventory is up 255, which is a 14% increase from last month. And it's down from when I first started doing this by 22%. The other thing I want to take a look at here, each and every month, TAR puts out a really good market update. And this month's median home price in Tucson was 385. And in 2021, we had a 16.8% appreciation rate. And so far in 2022, we're looking at 9% appreciation rate. So again, double digit appreciation rates over the last couple of years. This trend is continuing, but again, my guess is we're not going to see the last half of this year. In my opinion, I could be wrong. I don't have that crystal ball, but my guess is we're going to start to see this appreciation month over month start to slow down. And again, if you look at this chart, when I first started doing this back in August of, August of last year, I mean, we're up over, almost 100,000 in terms of the median. home sales price here in Tucson. So let me take the sharing off here. So again, each and every week, I like to dive into the numbers. And what I would encourage you to do is that TAR puts out a really, really good market update each and every month. And I do a recap on what the Tucson housing market is doing. But what I would encourage you to do, there's a lot of really good information where you can dive deeper into the numbers. So if you head on over to Tucson Homes and Lots and you scroll down on the homepage, you're going to see the Tucson monthly market update. And if you click on that and scroll to the bottom of the update right here, if you click on that, that is a PDF that's going to take you over to the monthly report that TAR puts out. And there's some really good information in here. So I would encourage you, if you're one to want to look at the numbers and really do a deep dive into what's going on, I would encourage you to take a look at what's going on each and every month. And each and every month on my website, I do a recap on the monthly market update. So that's it. I like to keep it short and sweet. But again, each and every month, I dive on into what's going on with inventory levels here in Tucson. And my feeling is that the top of this market will be May, June of this year. And we're definitely starting to see some things slow down. So, thanks for watching and make it a great day. Going to keep it short and sweet. Have a good one.